city's doing something. It's exactly what it sounds like to throw a human in a wood chipper. I wonder what they're doing over there. So I've got my... I said sugar maple in another video. It's actually rock maple. It's out of southern Oklahoma. It's this really white. It doesn't even look like maple. It kind of looks like poplar, but it's real hard maple. This is the width of the black walnut strip that we're going to use to make up the neck, 5-piece neck. And so I'm going to cut a strip out of that maple. And this black walnut, I was just looking at it. It's a really straight board. It doesn't have any twist or any winding to it. But down here at this end, it kind of has a... it comes away from center right there. See how it curves a little bit? And that could be just enough to make it too thin, because you got to remember the whole body is going to be as thick as this 5-piece is. And they can only really be as thick as these pieces of Purple Heart that I have, so it's going to be really close. But I think it's going to be okay. So right now I'm going to run this guy through my bandsaw at this width, cut out a strip, and then come over to my bench and see how much Purple Heart I'm going to need and if that's going to work. So let's cut this out. So I've got my strip cut out from this board. Let me zoom out. There we go. So this will be the maple contribution to the 5-piece. And so what we're looking for is about 2.5 inches of thickness. And again, this is a base neck, so I'm going to make sure the grains are running like perpendicular to the ground. So they're real strong. This is going to be a really strong neck. But let's see how much Purple Heart it's going to take to get to a little over 2.5 inches. And I actually think I'm going to make this a little wider than it needs to be. Simply so I don't have to laminate as much as on these neck pieces, or the body wings, because they're pretty thin. And I saw that these aren't thick enough. So what I'm going to have to do is figure out how many it's going to take to do the sides, and then I'm going to take a piece and then cut it like I'm going to do with these, and make a cap. And so it'll look the same. You won't be able to tell because it's all from the same board. But it'll give me an extra thickness so that I can get to this thickness. So I'm hoping that I can maintain as much of this thickness as possible, because I want the body to be as thick as this Purple Heart cube. So 1 3/4 about. And that's about as thin as I want to get. And I'm going to have to take some, thickness off to plane these to get a flat surface for the fretboard. I just don't think it's going to take off that much. I should be able to dial it in real close with my planer. And then see this area right here? See how that's it's got a little twist to it, so that means that that's as thick as that can possibly be right there. So it should work, but let's see. I might just use that whole block. I don't have anything else going on with it. I've had it forever. It's been paid for forever, these 2 pieces. I usually only use them for like binding, and I still can. I'm gonna have a ton left over even using this whole block. 3 inches. That's probably pretty good. Maybe I'll shave it just in case. So now I need to cut these into strips. So I'm going to split these guys down center, long ways. So we'll get 2 white, 2 brown. This is going to be the Neapolitan base. And once I get these strips out, and cross your fingers that that my bandsaw doesn't deviate or do anything funky, we're going to run them over here to my thickness planer and try to keep as much thickness to them as we can. And then I'll be about ready to glue them up. So let's get to doing that. Alright, so we've cut our strips. So I've got 2 chocolates, a strawberry, and 2 vanillas. So let's see what this is going to look like. I haven't run these through my thickness planer to clean them up. I'm just kind of getting an idea of what this is going to look like. So like that. So that'll be the neck. These will be thinner, obviously. This is going to be thinner too. So right now, it's going to be about an inch thinner than all of that. That's the concept. So I need to run these guys through thickness planer and thin them out. This black walnut was a lot of trouble cutting, and you can see it's warping pretty significantly. So the thinner it is, the more pliable it'll be, and it'll work easier with the maple. So let me plane them down and we'll see how thin we can get them. So here's the maple. I love this machine. Need to be a little bit thinner. That'll probably do it. No, not yet. One more. One more pass. So now we've got our maple clean on both sides. We're gonna do the same thing to this. Ugh. This stuff is rough. So let's go ahead and cross our fingers on this one. So there we go, I got my strips. I don't know, that's kind of chunky. I'm not in love with it. I mean, it is a base. Bases are supposed to be chunky because that rhymes with funky. Everybody knows that. I don't know. Purple Heart maybe is too much. I'm gonna go back and think about it. But that's after they've been planed and nice and clean, and we've got a real smooth surface for gluing. It's good joints. It's thick enough both directions, so pretty neat. We're almost done. So we're looking at this. Now seeing because this maple is actually going to go out wider than that. It's probably going to go about this far on each side. Looks pretty cool. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I was worried that these lines were going to be too thick, but for a base, I actually think that'll be okay. I don't know. Leave me what you think. I've still got time. Because I've even thought I've got enough maple left over that I could split this in half and put a piece of maple in between these two and thin these. But it's not terrible that big. Really, I need to draw the shape of the body on here, because that really is going to say a lot too. I don't know. But this stuff was so warped, I'm going to let it sit here clamped for a little bit. Hopefully that'll chill it out. Because it was warping pretty bad. But once it's all glued, it'll be one piece. It won't move.